Hey guys, long were the days of manual labor. Well, kind of. Long were the days of working hard in the fields because the nobles refused to agrarian reforms. So history and stuff like that. But no worries. After two world wars, and one which pushed us very close to the edge of being radioactive organisms, democracy wins. We now all heavily rely on money. Look, I'm not saying democracy isn't effective. It's one of the reasons we are technologically advanced within a span of a few decades. But in my opinion, we are not using these advances correctly. So no, I will not tackle politics because I don't really care. None of my opinions will matter. I will instead talk about some of the techs that we already have and how, in my opinion, they could have been used. I will start with genetics, more specifically, genetic engineering. One of my inspirations for making this video is I remembered something that we did in the past because our teacher told us to make a video about DNA because we were tackling biology. So that gave me an idea that may sound immoral to some people, but to me, genetic engineering is both a weapon of good and evil, just like the nuclear bomb, where nuclear fusion can not only destroy cities, but supply cities with clean and environmentally safe energy. One small example is in my home country, we were supposed to have a nuclear reactor to help us with electricity, but those people in charge do not want to. Thus, if we have those nuclear reactors, they will lose the monetary value. Moving on. So what even is genetic engineering? Well, in simple terms, it is a process of literally meddling with the blueprints of DNAs, manipulating the structure for the desired outcome. So let's first tackle its positives. If I was head of the science and stuff, I would propose that we could genetically modify plants that are most needed. An example is rice. Why don't we have a grain of rice able to sustain any harsh environment? Not only that, but grows in abundance. If we have corn that grew from tiny pockets to what we have today, so why can't rice? I mean, think about it. We will no longer need more land to grow rice because it can grow in any environment. It's even abundant because it could be enough to feed 2 cities and so on. I'll talk about its negative later on, so be patient. So why do we need to rely on these suspicious technologies when we have a lot of land on Earth that we could use? Well, the more that we cut down trees and deforest green areas of the planet to feed our ever-growing population, the more the Earth gets hotter. The more we lose plant life to environmental disasters. Because you see, it's a feedback loop of gradual heat. And not only that, but it multiplies itself every year. Other things that can affect this gradual increase are the need for pastures, economic value, urbanization, livestock, charcoal for coal power plants, and more. More onto food. Another idea I have is we could create a special kind of fruit. Omnibus. Omni meaning all and chibus meaning nutrients. Omnibus for short. These hypothetical plants could have all the nutrients a fully grown adult needs to sustain for a week. Now I am not sure how this could be done, but with the literal tools to manipulate the building blocks of creation itself within your grasp, I think anything is possible. Another idea for genetic engineering, we could create a special type of cell that is accepted by our bodies that can protect you from any known disease. And maybe, just maybe, could enhance our biological structure. Sure, we can have something like strong muscles, regeneration, etc. But what I'm more interested in is intelligence. If we somehow gather data on genetic engineering, we could learn a thing or two on how our human brains function to the cellular level. That we can recreate a brain to have the combined intellect of the greatest minds throughout history. This is extremely ambitious, I understand, but if we will need all the ideas and opinions on a thing that requires human decision, this could possibly help. Now, these ideas I have are for the good of mankind and not for the use of any force. If I had the chance to be producing these types of technologies, I could not stress enough how much I do not want any of this technology to be used by any military agencies or secret government intelligence. Because these ideas are to help make our future generations live freely and without worries with the problems we have today. What could happen if these technologies fell to the wrong guidance? Biological warfare. Think about it. I'll let you decide what I'm talking about. Having the intelligence and information to manipulate the building blocks of these biological machines comes with greed from those who might want to terrorize humankind. I will not specify how could this be used because they are immoral. And no, it doesn't mean that I know these things that I will make those decisions. Nuclear technology. I am sure you guys can argue on what I have to say here, but hear me out. There are various channels out there talking about nuclear technology, and they explain it way better than I could ever do. But hypothetically, if I rule over a nation that had the same access and technological advances as the United States or other rich nations, I would heavily encourage my people to use electric-powered cars that are charged with nuclear power plants, not oil. Because that's kind of hypocritical, don't you think? You have a car that is being powered by electricity, but to create the electricity, you use oil. Never mind. The irrigation system is powered by nuclear fusion. The Wi-Fi never dies. The factories are powered by nuclear fusion. The water distillation is powered by it. Electricity, water, and Wi-Fi are free because the energy is abundant. Waste management is everywhere. I could maybe stretch it out, maybe, to free education from kindergarten to university, free healthcare, and more. Artificial intelligence and automated machines. In an ideal world, we should have been spending our time not wondering will we have enough money to survive into next week, rents, debts, etc. But enjoying life as it is. We aren't machines born to do manual labor forever, with the uncertainty of your future, because all you had as a kid is low education, born into poverty, racism, etc. Our mental health and emotional health is just as important as our physical health. So what am I trying to suggest here? Well, in an ideal world, you are born to explore your curiosities with the aid of machines. Able to freely explore the earth, people should enjoy life with machines to do the hard manual labor for us. But yes, you do have a choice if you would like to be in the workforce. It's just up to you if you wanted to work. You will get recognition and you will get paid for your work, so don't worry. The machines should be there to aid us, not replace us. I apologize for getting too ahead of myself, but as a student from a third world nation struggling with corruption and poverty, I am bitterly disappointed by the path our nation have sadly taken. Day by day, I'm starting to lose hope for a brighter future. We are the hope for the continuation of our species. We shouldn't make things harder for our children and their children's children. It sounds easy, but the price we'll pay in the future will be catastrophic if we aren't careful.